Hi everybody and welcome back to Gosport Hospital Radio again today. So today what I thought I'd talk about is we're going to do a vote that was done on the best ever albums of all time. Now there is quite a bit of the Beatles in here. You've got the likes of Radiohead and all that type of stuff. So I've got no control of this list, okay, because like I said, it has been voted for on besteveralbums.com. And as it says here, okay, the overall rankings for the best albums in history as determined by the aggregate positions in over 59,000 different greatest album charts on besteveralbums.com. Okay, so it's according to 59,000 different album charts. Okay, so let's get started. We're doing the top 20. Okay, but what I am going to want to know is if I mention any album that you've actually bought yourself, let's know what you think of it, because there's a lot of different stuff on here. Okay, covering a mass period going probably all the way back to some stage back in the 1960s. So we've got a 60-year period covering 20 albums. Okay, so coming in at number 20, okay, is To Pimp a Butterfly by the American Kendrick Lamar, okay, which was released back in 2015, which obviously went to number one, and it's got a rank score of 29,696, okay, with over 2,300 votes. Then at number 19, which with a one of their probably their biggest albums, okay, even though the band were going through quite a lot of problems at the time, which is Rumours by Fleetwood Mac, which also has some of their greatest hits from the 1970s, which was released back in 1977. Okay, its rank in the 1970s was actually fifth, but in 1977 it did go to number one. Okay, it's got a rank score here of 29,866. So it did pretty well. You know, it got to number 19. At 18, this is an album I've never heard of. Okay, which is In the Aeroplane Over the Sea. Never a good place to be. By the American band Neutral Milk Hotel. Okay, it says here it's a strange phenomenon that the record has garnered so much critical acclaim with its simplistic harmonic progressions and expectable cadences. Okay, released back in 1998. Its rank in 1998 was number one, but in the 90s, only number three, with a rank score of 30,502. Okay, at number 17, it's quite ironic this one, okay, because I've actually just been sent their greatest hits, okay, which is Doolittle by the American band The Pixies. So obviously I know them because I've just been sent all their greatest hits by, I think the record label 64 AD. I think that's the name of the record label. I may be slightly wrong there. I could check, but I'm pretty sure that is the actual name of the record label. Let's have a look. Was it AD 93? No, it's not AD 93. I can't remember the name of the record label. It's something AD anyway. Okay. Right. So that went so obviously that was released back in 1989. Got a rank of number one in 1989, but for the 1980s, it came second with a rank score of 30,592. 1988. Okay, so pretty good. And to be honest, the actual album cover looks pretty cool as well. It's not a bad album cover if you want to go and take a look. Okay, at number 16. Now, a lot of people would say this is one of the very greatest albums of all time, which is by the Smiths. Okay, which is The Queen is Dead. Okay, probably not the nicest thing to say about the Queen. Okay, back then. But obviously this was released back in 1986. Okay, went, for the 1980s, ranked number one. 1986, obviously ranked number one. Okay, ranking score 32,244. So it did pretty well, and it has over 265 comments. And I'm not going to go through the comments today. Okay, at number 15, another one I haven't heard of. This is Funeral by the Canadian band Arcade of Fire. Okay, now this was released back in 2004. Okay, went to number one, but for the 2000s, has an overall rank of number 3. Okay, and it's got a ranking score of 32,550 overall for the history of music albums. Okay, at number 14, we have our first Beatles. Okay, so this is the first one, which is Beatles The White Album. Okay, and it says here, this album has it all from gorgeous songs like While My Guitar Gently Weeps and Blackbird to just great songs like Happiness Is a Warm Gun and I'm So Tired, to hard rock for the time like How to Skelter and Birthday. I think was it them that did How to Skelter? Okay, which is obviously got a few links to one particular murderer in America who's obviously passed away now. Okay, but that's another story. So obviously that was released back in 1968, ranked at number 1, and for the 1960s it was ranked 6. Not surprised it's not ranked number 1, because I know on this chart list the Beatles have 4 albums. Okay, now this particular album has a rank score of 36,015. Obviously the rank scores are going to go up as we go through them. At 13, we have Nevermind by Nirvana. Great band. Obviously released back in 1991. It ranked in 91 first, and overall in the 1990s it came second with a rank score of 36,668. At number 12, and we're almost into the top 10, we have Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, which came second in 1966, and ranked 5th for the whole of the 1960s. At number 11, a great album, one of the most famous albums of all time. I've got to say that, otherwise I'm going to get myself in trouble. We have Untitled, Led Zeppelin 4 by Led Zeppelin, released back in 1971, came in with a rank for 1971 of first, and for the whole of the 70s it comes 4th. It says here, flawless album in my view, yes, including 4 Sticks and Misty Mountain Hop. Some consider Stairway to Heaven to be on of it, if not the most overplayed song ever, but it's amazing. But I could listen to it 1,000 more times. My favourite track on Led Zeppelin 4 is not Stairway to Heaven, but Levy. So that's what it actually says. A person who's put this comment there. Whether they're right, I would disagree, to be honest. But that's my personal opinion. And everybody's entitled to their opinion at the end of the day. But coming in at number 10, we have the Velvet Underground and Nico, which is basically just a self-titled album, which was released back in 1967, going to with a rank of second for 1967, and ranked fourth for the whole of the 1960s. Okay, at number 9, okay, we have a Radiohead album, okay, with Kid A, which was released back in 2000, which was ranked number 1, and for the whole of 2000, it came second. Okay, with a rank score of 39,926. I'll be interested to see what comes number 1 for the 2000s. At number 8, we have the Beatles yet again. Okay, with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. Okay, which was released back in 1967. Okay, which came number 1 for that particular year, and for the whole of the 60s, it comes third. Okay, now somebody has put a comment here saying the influence of this album on the trajectory of popular music cannot be overstated. The Beatles' experimentation with the recording process was something that hit a defining high point on this album. This process was something no bands had the resources to do at the time, with the exception of the Beach Boys. And it was a great album at the end of the day. But we've got to go to number 7, and guess what? We got Radiohead yet again. Okay, so we've got In Rainbows by Radiohead, released back in 2007, which went to number 1 and was the greatest album of the 2000s. So looks like Radiohead have 1 and 2. Good on them. Okay. And it got a rank score of 41,572 with over 398 comments on that particular album. Right, at number 6, we have The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie, released back in 1972, went to number 1 in 1972, and it ranked number 3 for the whole of the 1970s. At number 5, we have Pink Floyd with Wish You Were Here. Great album, great band. Released in 1975. Was the greatest album of the 1975, and comes number 2 for the 70s. At number 4, we have, guess what? The Beatles yet again. Okay, released in 1966. Yes, the year England won the World Cup. Will they win it this year? We will see very soon. Okay, ranked at number 2 for the 1960s, and has a rank score of 47,646. At number 3, we have the Beatles yet again. Now, this is the last Beatles entry. So what I'm going to ask, out of the 4 Beatles albums I've mentioned, is Abbey Road the greatest Beatles album? Okay, because this is the highest ranking Beatles album. So I will ask that question. Okay, this was released back in 1969, ranked the greatest album of the 1960s. Okay, with a rank score of 55,281. Okay, at number 2, we have Pink Floyd yet again with The Dark Side of the Moon. Absolutely famous and fabulous album cover. Everybody knows The Dark Side of the Moon album cover at the end of the day. But at number 1, we have OK Computer by Radiohead. Okay, which was released back in 1997. Okay, which obviously means it's the greatest album of the 90s, greatest album in history. So that is our top 20. So what I'm going to ask is this. I'm actually going to ask two things. One is Abbey Road by the Beatles, their greatest album. Okay, if you want to answer that, if you're a Beatles fan, because there's 4 entries by the Beatles in the top 20, and 2, I'm going to ask, do you agree that OK Computer by Radiohead is the greatest album in history? And if not, what do you think should come in at number 1 as the greatest album of all time? So let us know in the comments down below. But for now, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you again a bit later.